welcome to Magic Partners Live. Once again, I'm John. Next to me is Chase. Welcome back. If you're excited to talk about Disney this morning, please drop a like down below and please subscribe to the channel and make sure you ring the bell because we're here every week, aren't we, Chase? We love talking about Disney.
Absolutely. I think it consumes our entire our entire week is dedicated to finding stuff for this show.
Absolutely. And today is no different. In fact, today is probably the most content we've ever talked about anywhere. So right from the start, apologies if we go over the hour, but I think we're probably going to today. So you're just going to have to keep watching. That's all you can do. Look, I just want to start by saying a big hello to Bryan. Bryan from Bryan's Magic Light was supposed to be on the show today, but he is homesick. So get well soon, buddy. We really want to see you back in the show. So get some rest, go see the doctor, and come back to us a new man. So what I want to do first is I want to throw up Bryan's vlog and just talk about where he went this week. Now, I haven't actually been to Ogre's Cantina. When I was over there in Disneyland, Batu West, things were just too hard to get into. Now, Bryan has been trying for years to get in, almost 2 years to get in. And he's finally got in. So this week we want to take a look at his vlog to start off with. Now, Chase, as I haven't been inside, I want you to talk us through the experience and tell us how awesome it is in there. Here's Bryan just about to go in. So
Yeah.
So you've been a couple of times, haven't you?
Yes, I have been. I've been in twice.
Yep. And we've got, so talk us through, so it's like a bar, so they do serve alcohol there.
That's right.
And of course you've got DJ Rex playing the tunes. What sort of atmosphere what's the atmosphere like in the bar?
It's what you'd expect to see in like what would be like a club or bar. It's definitely upbeat. Everybody's talking, everybody's laughing, having fun.
Yep.
The last time I was there was some sort of party going on because they were creating shots, like miniature versions of all their drinks. So they had like tons of them laid out, and it must have been for a big party group or something like that were having all of these things done. But that looks... yeah, I think he got I don't know the exact name of it, the fizz one, but it's supposedly the one that makes your your mouth go numb. And they tell you to really be careful because it is made with an extract of a plant that was used a long time ago before there was Novocaine. So in order to like make your mouth all numb for like procedures and stuff, it was used as a painkiller. I don't know why Disney chose that. I think it was very bold. But they tell you to be very careful about swallowing the fizz while you're drinking. They say let it get on your tongue and everything, but let it dissipate on your tongue, because what happens is if you swallow that fizz, it tends to make your throat feel tingly, which in some people can trigger like feeling like they're being choked. Like their airways are being closed, when it's really not. It's just becoming numb and tingly, which leaves you a sensation that you can't actually breathe. So that's why I was kind of like, wow, he got rid of that thing, just downed it. But my personal favorite is the Java Juice.
Yep.
And it's a non-alcoholic drink, but very fruity, and it has the green boba, the popping pearls, at the bottom.
Yep.
and I love that one. It's like orange and pineapple, kind of a taste with the boba there on ice, and it's really really
Mm-hmm.
good. But you only have 45 minutes to stay in there.
Right.
They're on a timer, so pretty much the moment you come in and you sit down and someone says hi, what can I get you,
Mm-hmm.
your time has started. So it's very difficult to get seating.
Right.
You usually will be standing on either the standing tables or around the bar,
Yep.
and the and Rex is the main attraction. That's what I wanted to see to go in there. I didn't necessarily care much for like whether or not I was going to get a drink. I wanted to see Rex. So that was the best part of it, and the music that he plays is fantastic. I have all of the songs on the website. So
Mm-hmm.
I have them there. They're still available on the interactive map for Disneyland.
Right. Right.
But I'm so glad that he got to go in there. I'm very jealous. I would love to spend more time in there. The last time I was there was in February of 2020, so right before the park closed.
All right. Yep. Yep. So yeah, yeah, awesome experience. Awesome experience indeed. And so, yeah, once again, Brian, get well soon, buddy. And we'll see you on the show real soon. I really want to tee up a live show as well when Brian's in the parks. We've been trying to do it for the last couple of weeks. Just hasn't worked out on all of our timelines, but we will get there, everybody. I promise. So what I want to do now is move on to Disneyland, and there's been heaps of
Halloween.
there's been heaps of Halloween news come out this week. What I want to do first, though, is just go over to your blog, DisneylandToday.net. Everyone, make sure you subscribe, should I say? And I want to talk about what we're getting Jack back at the Haunted
Yes.
Mansion for Halloween, which means that we will have, the full makeover, the gingerbread house. Now, the last time it was on it was 2019, of course. I was there. I loved it. It was really awesome. Really, really awesome. Look, so talk us through what they actually do, what they do to the Haunted Mansion, for this takeover by Jack Chase. What actually
Sure.
happens?
Well, I love the Haunted Mansion holiday.
Yeah.
As it's very 50-50 in the Disney fan community. It's like, do you like it or do you not? I love it. I love the Nightmare Before Christmas takeover. I love the transition and everything that they put in there. It makes an essentially new ride every time. There's, they either add stuff or, and the gingerbread house is new every time.
Mm.
It's not a reused prop. It is made before during the transition period, which usually lasts a few weeks. It takes almost 2 weeks just to make the gingerbread house. So that's being done. They're already unpacking and getting everything inside the mansion converted, and that's everything from the stretching room to seeing Oogie Boogie at the very end where the hitchhiking ghosts are. So there is influence everywhere, and it's fantastic what they do.
Yep.
And um I'm really looking forward to it. It's amazing that I read somewhere that they actually store everything that's for the holiday transition inside the mansion around the full for the entire year. It's all stored inside. That's why it takes like no time for them
Mm-hmm.
to be able to unpack everything and put it in. So everything for the transition is stored in the mansion year round, and so it's just like it's not like they have to go to another site to pick it up and bring it over.
Yep.
They just grab it and start putting it together. So it's going down in mid August.
Yep.
and
Yep.
coming back up on the 2nd of September. So,
Right.
I'm thinking, I'm like, man, am I gonna miss it if I go for my birthday? Yes, I will. The mansion will be closed if I wait. So I might have to rethink that just a tiny bit so that I can get onto
Yep.
the ride when it
Yeah.
reopens.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
by the time that attraction is back up and running, fall and Halloween theme will be full blown at Disneyland. So we'll have everything. It's just the mansion is that icing on the cake.
Absolutely, it is that, like it's so good to see everything's coming back at last. That is just so
Yes.
awesome. And
Everybody was so worried. They're like, what's going to happen? Are they having a
yeah,
Halloween? Are they
yeah,
not having a Halloween? And then it's like, would they have announced it by now? So what's going on?
yeah,
What's
yeah,
what's
yep.
the holdup? And then all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, guess what? You can buy your tickets on the 13th of July. And I'm like, that's like next week.
Yeah, so let's go back and just have a look at what else is happening at Halloween. This is the story on your site, and Oogie Boogie Bash is back. Let me tell you, the first time they did it when I was there in 2019, and it was super, super awesome. They've got look. I hope that means that the parade will be back, which and
Yes, the frightfully fun, I believe it is,
yes, that's the
parade.
one. Yep,
It is coming back. Yep. So they're going to do that,
yep.
and they're getting the what is it? What's the fireworks show there?
Oh,
Um,
they did last time I was there. When I was there in 2019, they did a World of Color, Oogie
yeah,
Boogie on the Oogie Boogie night.
they're not doing Villainous, so
Okay,
they are not doing they are totally skipping that performance this year, and they're
okay,
going with Halloween fireworks instead.
okay. So will that be over at that'll be have to be over at Disneyland instead of California Adventure, right? Because
Right.
um, and tell me, Oogie
Because they're going to
Boogie's.
do the projection mapping and everything.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. They did that last year, and in fact, in 2019, they had a bit of a because Fantasmic just finished as the fireworks started. So what they did is they did the projection for the fireworks that was on the castle at the same time. They did it over in Fantasmic on a water fountain, so nobody kind of missed out on the
Yes.
show. So that was really awesome. We don't seem to have Fantasmic or World of Color back yet in Disneyland. Am I correct in saying that? Um, do you?
Yeah, no, they're not back yet, and we don't have dates for them either. So
Yep.
we haven't. Many people in the community are saying that Phantasmic won't be back until next year. I'm believing that. It sounds very accurate. They're going to need to do a lot of work and making sure that they have all the characters that show demands. They're going to need to make sure that they can also get the training, the choreography, make sure that everything is prepared, the
Yep.
Rivers of America for that show,
Mm,
because it is very intense.
it
That
is. Yep.
show takes a lot to put on and put together. So just to make sure that everything is working flawlessly, that's going to require a lot of testing, because I know
Yeah.
throughout the years there have been many incidents with Maleficent's dragon, and
Mm,
so they need to make sure that after a year, just over a year of her not being used at all, that it's
yeah.
safe, and everything is back up to par just like it was. So I'm guessing we'll see that in early 2022.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if we'll see World of Color before this year is ending, but that would be nice if maybe we saw it around the holidays, to have some sort of, Disney will get a lot of Christmas stuff, but maybe there will be something to drive some traffic over to California Adventure.
Hmm.
But if not, it'll probably be 2022 as well before we get World of Color.
Yeah. Which is kind of disappointing, but we totally understand. Look, being in audiovisual myself, it would be great to see that back, because it means that the audiovisual guys coming back on those two shows will then be in a job again. So we really want that to happen. I feel for the events industry at this point in time across the world, because during the pandemic, we were the first ones to sort of go down in terms of theatre, in terms of live, in terms of any corporate, and we're the last ones to come back. So it'll be really great to see some of those guys getting their jobs back, and the show, of course, for all of our enjoyment, coming back. So can't wait for that one. So yeah, really excited about Halloween. This is another thing we saw last Halloween 2019, and it's coming back again. And this is Coco, the little puppet and the show that they do over there in Disneyland in Plaza de Familia. So that is awesome to see that show back as well.
It is fantastic. I've seen it and I loved it. And that was when I saw it, it was brand new then. It had never been done before. And so it was like their first time doing it. And the Miguel puppet just like floored me. It's amazing. You don't even really pay attention to the guy that's controlling him. And so you're really just looking at Miguel. You're listening to the music, which is amazing. And of course, those guys that have the two puppets, that's got to be extraordinary, like to pull off, because they've got one in front and one in back. And so your movements are controlling both of them. So you have to have this like very probably delicate dance that you're doing to make sure that they move properly and aren't breaking. So it's an amazing rig that they've got for them, but the music is fantastic. Everybody loves the music of Coco. And so I can't wait to see this back. It's a good show.
It is fantastic. Just moving through, really excited about Halloween. I mean, this is some of the costumes that we've seen in the past, really cute. So we're hoping to see when Halloween season comes along, and we do get these specialized kind of shows that we do have those new costumes come out for all the characters, because they're incredibly cute. And of course, Cars Land is extremely awesome.
That's so funny. I'm looking at that little, like the little one that's just all squishy over there. And I'm just like,
I love Cars Land. Any time of year, Cars Land's great. But at Halloween, there's a huge makeover at Cars Land, which is really, really cute. And we do love it. So that's a good place to visit as well. So too excited that Halloween's coming back. Just to say, Oogie Boogie Bash, hopefully we get the indoor sort of meet and greets as well. Maybe we'll get some socially distanced meet and greets, but you do see Oogie Boogie. You do see all the villains in the park. So I hope we'll get some meet and greets, if not some socially distanced meet and greets. So looking forward to that. I
think some of the neatest ones are, if you really like, you don't get to see too many of the villains out out and about, and you get like the Evil Queen is fantastic. She is amazing. Having her wandering around Fantasyland is always fun, because her absolute vanity is just a treat. It's so great to hear. She really loves to interact with people, and she does such a great job with it. Gaston is also a really fun one to see. He's kind of on the low end of villains, but seeing Jack and Sally is amazing, because that's a hard one to pull off. Jack's costume is a very difficult one to pull off. They could have gone with like a big solid head, but they chose to make it very sleek and modern. And it's interesting because listening to him speak, it's just very smooth and romantic, almost like you'd imagine him to be. But it's with Sally, that's the perfect pair. You usually don't see them away from each other. They're usually always together. which I absolutely love seeing them in front of the mansion. So same with Dr. Fossier. Seeing him in front of the mansion is a real treat.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing who they have out there as focus. You know, who are they going to have out the most and wandering around? But the
Yeah.
parade, if it's anything like the one I've seen before, where they have like, where they open it with the headless horseman and
Oh
Ichabod and
yeah.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's a really cool parade, and
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
glad to hear. I was glad to hear this is like one of the first parades we're going to be
Yeah.
getting back.
Yeah. And I mean, my when I heard about Oogie Boogie back in 2019, I was a little bit, what's going on here? Is it going to be just as good in DCA? Is it, as it has been in the past in Disneyland? It's something different. I was a bit worried about it, to be honest. But then when Oogie Boogie Bash, I went to it, it was just awesome. Like, I really like that concept of, sort of going over to DCA there. It was great. The parade was fantastic. The meet and greets were fantastic. And also, World of Color, which we won't see, but that was fantastic. Well, they did a really good job of it. So don't be put off by the fact that they've moved it over to DCA, because I think it's a really unique and great idea. And don't forget, over in Disneyland, you still get the Halloween fireworks. You still get to see Jack, which is awesome as well. So it's a really good way to celebrate Halloween at Disneyland. Of course, over at Disney World, you've got Mickey's Not So Scary. They are doing something over at Disney World as well this year. We'll get Bryan to tell us all about that again, but we have discussed it. The show looks to be a little barren at the moment. Like the event looks to be a little bit barren at the moment, but I think they're leaving opportunity to surprise. I think, if Disneyland's having a parade, I would well imagine that we'll see parades back in Disney World. Like, that has not been confirmed by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we will see something come to Disney World. That's my feeling anyway. And we'll definitely get a fireworks show over there. So I think, over in Disney World, the Halloween, special event parties will be awesome as well. We just got to wait for a few more details. I just wanted, before we turn away from Halloween, is just to kind of flash up the pricing that we're going to see over September, October. So at the least, we're looking at about $114 for the event, and then at the most, we're looking at $169. So
On the last 2 days.
Days, yeah. And traditionally, we started late August, but we're starting a bit later now in September. And that's all fine. We don't mind that. What do you think about the pricing? Do you think it's worthwhile? Given that, you're only in there for a few hours, but you do get a couple of hours beforehand in the parks, right? At that price.
Yeah, from what I've heard, from what I've been reading, you don't actually need a reservation for the Oogie Boogie Bash. As long as you have your ticket, you'll be able to get in. And it starts a little bit early over at California Adventure, so you can come in with your ticket those few hours before and just enjoy things, and then keep on staying throughout the event. I think that it's great, and I think that price is worth it. I don't think the one at Walt Disney World was all that worth it, and I've heard from plenty of people like, what? That's crazy. That's so expensive.
Yeah.
And because it's almost like $200 some as you get up to the last couple days.
Yeah.
And you might as well just, for a few hours, you might as well just have bought yourself a ticket for the entire day if you want to go to that event, which I think is kind of silly. So I think that Disney did a great job in figuring out their price tier. And I think you're going to be getting your money's worth with all the things that are going on. So if you're already there for the day, there's so much to enjoy, and then on top of it all, you get this, and you're just
Mm,
going to have a whole lot of fun. I think there's going
yeah.
to be they're doing the like the haunted trails and all
Yep.
that kind of stuff. So they're bringing that all back. So there's going to be plenty for everyone to do. So
Yep.
yeah, I absolutely think they were right on the mark with the price there.
Yeah. One thing I would suggest if you're going along is make sure you check out the map and make sure you give yourself enough time to get around to everything, because the lines, say, for some of the trails are quite long. So you will wait in line to go through some of the trails. So really get an event map and have a look what you really don't want to miss out on the night. I mean, I would suggest, you need to make sure you're going to the right trails. If you want to see Oogie Boogie, or if you want to see a specific villain, make sure you go to those trails first, because you do have to slot in the parade as well, and maybe fireworks, and there's a lot going on. So don't think you can take it easy, like take your time, but just remember that there is a lot to see, and you probably wouldn't get through everything in one night. So make sure you pick out your favorites and make them a priority. That would be my advice to you. Unless you're
I
going,
think that's good advice.
yeah, unless you're going more than once, which would be quite easy to do and not see everything the first
There you
time.
go.
Yep. So that's my advice to you from someone who went last time it was on. Moving forward, then, we're still going to stay in Disneyland. We have a lot going on.
There's a lot going on right now. They've got ticket deals for local Californians. So
Yep.
that's the next big thing there. So if
Yep.
you are a resident of pretty much all of California, there are very few places that aren't part of this deal. But basically, you get a 3-day either one a day, one park a day, or the park hopper
Yep.
for what equates to about $83 a day,
Right.
which
Yep.
is a huge discount.
Yep.
And I wish they were opening that to everybody, but it is for a limited time. So they're really trying to get local people to come on back and enjoy the parks as they used to help increase flow of traffic to local businesses. So that deal is really, really awesome. And as long as you use it before September 30th, I believe it is,
Mm-hmm.
then you're good. So you have those 3 days to be able to use before the tickets expire.
That's great.
And a lot of people this is kind of just, we're not sure if it's a rumor right now or if it's really kind of a plan, but that they're saying with this ending in September, they're thinking that this is what might be what leads into an announcement for an annual pass program, because they're trying to circulate as many people as they can through on these deals and make
Mm-hmm.
sure like single day and multi-day tickets expire. And then hopefully they'll make an announcement about whatever that replacement program is
Yep.
and when it'll start. So some people are saying we'll hear about it in September, October, and then starting in January, or, that would probably be I think that's a fair bet to say, hey,
Yeah.
we're announcing it and then we'll start it at the top of the year because in December, that's when all of the passes that weren't used expire.
Yeah. Yep.
So once all those are off the table, then they can say, okay, here's our new program. Get involved in whatever it is,
Yep.
and you're good to go. For however long that's going to last. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if that's really the case. And when we see the end of this new discount program for Californians, then hopefully we'll get our new annual pass or membership information from Disney.
It's really good news, and a very good deal for California residents. And we had been waiting a long time to hear what's going on with the annual pass. And I know
Yeah.
I know yourself, as an annual pass holder in the past are really looking forward to getting that because it's a great deal. And when you did buy an annual pass in the past, and I'm sure they're going to bring things back again, you did get the discount inside restaurants as well, and also good discounts on a lot of merchandise as well. So even for people visiting the parks for, say, on a 2-week holiday or something like that, it's a really good idea to, in the past, and I'm sure in the future, to look at the annual pass to go, because if you work out how much discount you're getting from it and how many days you can come through, it probably works out cheaper for you to buy that annual pass, even for a 2-week visit. So just have a look at that, folks,
Right.
because as soon as it comes back, and of course we'll be letting you know about annual passes as soon as we hear about them. A lot of the stories,
Absolutely.
a lot of the stories we talk about here break like the day before or on the day, and we're always onto it. So, make sure you tune in and every week, because we will drop you some pretty breaking news every time we're here. So if you're excited about that, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe and ring that bell so you know when we're coming live. We will be posting and sharing the event a couple of days beforehand if we can, to make sure you guys know when we're coming live. But just if you ring that bell, you'll know exactly when we are live. So love to see more of you subscribe and ring in the bell. That'd be fantastic. So I'm just going to go back now to what else is going on at Disneyland coming. And this morning I started getting these excited text messages from Chase.
Talk about like last minute.
Yeah, I started text messages from Chase, and I'm just going to get this lined up now. And so we did get some new information about the Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
And we're really excited about this one. And the new photos look just awesome, don't they? I mean, look at that. Look at that chimp there. He just looks.
It's so neat. It's so
Yep.
they're cute, and and it's pretty amazing. Now I was trying to look at the differences, and at least with Walt Disney World, they had theirs in a rolling refurbishment, which meant people could still continue to go on the ride, and yet it was being added bit by bit. So maybe overnight it would be gone, and the next day it would be up, or it would be gone for a week, and then they're on their next trip. But Disney World does not have these chimps yet. They do
Yep.
have the rhino scene, but this will be something that I believe is covered in the video that they put out on Disney Parks blog,
Here it
and
is.
that some of those changes will be done later in the summer.
Yep.
So they're either going to be pretty soon here that they'll be seeing those just before we get into fall, so maybe around late this month or in August. And I just love the chimps. I think they look fantastic. I think seeing a crashed boat like the one that you're riding is kind of unnerving. You're like, oh wait, that could have been us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was great to see the Imagineers working on this. This is a behind the scenes kind of a thing that you don't get to see very often,
Yep.
where they clearly got to go through the ride scene by scene, with everything out, working on it, tweaking things, making sure that they're all appearing perfectly and working flawlessly.
Yep.
And to see them there in Imagineering is just one of those things that, oh gosh, you just want to be there on scene. It's like, let me see these monkeys, let me see the process and how it's done. And then of course when we get the final product, it's going to be amazing. I can't
Yep.
wait to hear some of the new dialogue that's going to come with this.
Yep.
um,
Hopefully some new
because as
jokes.
you can imagine, all the different things these guys are doing could be a joke in themselves from a skipper. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
much material there.
Yeah.
And I love the new gift shop. It looks fantastic. Disney World's version is, I believe, that's kind of like that boat rental and tackle shop.
Oh, yep, yep, yep,
So there's just kind of on the beach where you can see like the canoes and the tackle shop for fishing.
yep.
But I like the gift shop. I think it's a cool idea, and I love that the baby elephant is still there. I was hoping that maybe we'd get to see an animatronic of Alberta Falls, but that doesn't look like it.
Nah,
So
not gonna get. Yeah, I don't think they want
that's
to
too
reel
bad. But
everything to us. We
I
want to
think
have
it
some
would have been
surprises.
really cool. But I mean, I guess the fewer people that you have on there just gives you more focus on the animals, and you really feel for the people who have been chased up the tree by the rhinos and hyenas.
Absolutely. I
So,
look.
because
It
those
looks
are
awesome.
people that we can relate to. You've got all different ethnicities there,
Yeah,
which is great.
yeah,
And then of course you've got your skipper talking about it, and they're probably like, hey, this could have been my boat.
yeah, yeah.
So
I'm really,
I love it.
yeah. So do I. I think it looks really, really awesome. Um, so I can't wait for that to ride that. I'm hoping when you go into the park, we can see you on it. Definitely.
Oh
I
yeah,
would be
I'll
prepared.
definitely
I would be.
I'll be filming it for sure. I love this.
Yep.
I love the Jungle Cruise. From what I've heard, it's kind of in a soft opening now. Like some people are getting to
Oh,
ride
okay.
it.
Yep.
Some people aren't. So they're kind of doing. It is ready to go. They've, as you can see from these videos, it's all
Yeah.
in place. They've had people riding it, and I'm sure there's not too much that you're allowed to put out about it, just to
Yeah.
kind of keep things. But I mean, it's enough that we've gotten these pictures,
Yeah.
and we've
Absolutely.
clearly seen people riding it. So it'll be good to see that on the 16th when it opens to the public.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can't wait for that. Can't wait to see you there and riding the ride as well. Look, stay tuned for the first time Chase walks in the park. We will be going live. I'll make sure of it. The other thing that we're going to see this month, and we're pretty excited about, is the Jungle Cruise, the movie, which is coming. Correct me if I'm wrong,
The
but it's
30th.
the 30th. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that this month. Are we going to see it in theaters as well as Disney Plus, or is it just in on
Yes,
Disney Plus? Okay.
theaters and Disney Plus. So you will have on as far as the movie is concerned for Disney Plus, it will be premiere access. So you will need to pay the $29.99 to
Yep.
see it, just like other movies have had, like Cruella and Mulan.
Yep.
But even now with Black Widow is also a premiere
Mm-hmm.
access. But
Yep.
I think it's going to be well worth it. If you still can't go to the theater, if you're not comfortable with being in a theater setting yet, then
Mm.
this is going to be your next best bet. And this movie looks like so much fun. And being a follower of Dwayne Johnson's pretty much all of his social media. He
Yep.
does videos all the time, and
Yeah.
he is so proud of this movie.
Yep.
He's promoted it twice now, I think.
Mm.
Every time there's a new trailer that drops, he introduces it and shows it to his social media followers, and he just has so much love for this movie. So I think it's going to be really good.
Yep. Awesome. So I'm just going to move over to, now we're talking about movies. Just wanted to move over to a few other things that are coming up. And one of the best things that's coming up soon is a new Disney animated movie. So talk us through this one, Chase. It looks like it's going to be absolutely awesome. We haven't heard anything up until now. what is it and what's it going to be about? Tell us all about it, Chase. What we know so
So
far.
from if from watching the trailer a couple times and watching just trying to get a better idea about what this is about, it appears to be a family of everybody has some sort of special gift, whether they're able to change shape like that, they're able to make flowers and colors and rainbows and extreme strength and everything. But this one family member has no gift. According to her family, she has absolutely no magical type of gift. And so they kind of um, make that very obvious to her, and it's very awkward. Like, like, since you don't have a gift, I figured I'd give you one.
Yeah.
And she's like, thanks. But it looks like an absolutely beautiful movie. It
Yep.
looks like it's so cute. Like they're like, maybe your gift is that you're in denial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're in
Yeah.
denial that you have some sort of thing. So it's going to be really what is the self-worth of a human being, what are their qualities, is that just as magical as having some sort of power.
Yep.
So I think there'll be a lot of good messages here in this film. But it looks so cute. I think I'm gonna love this kid that loves animals. I can tell right off the bat.
Yep.
But
Uh,
but the main character, she looks so sweet, and she just sort of has that kind of nerdy geeky kind of quirky and just fun character, almost like a little, like, she kind of reminds me a little bit of Moana, a bit, just in the, like, in the face, but just kind of where maybe she's not too sure of herself, but then becomes very sure of herself later in the
yep.
film,
Yep.
as, like, and becomes very obvious of who she is, and becomes a very powerful character. So I think a lot of people will be able to relate to her, which is good.
Yeah, it looks like a one to watch this time. We're really excited about it. We'll be letting you know if we see anything else that comes up before it comes out, and we'll stay on track with that one. So really excited about that. Great to see a really top notch Disney animated movie come out again. It just means that they have been working on things in the background, and we're really excited about that. And we can't wait for Jungle Cruise, of course, as well. Let's get into Disney Plus now.
Sure.
Again, I just wanted to talk about Black Widow quickly here. I don't want to do any spoilers on this one, guys, because I did see it last night, but I'm not going to do any spoilers here because I really don't want to spoil it for you guys out there or Chase, because Chase hasn't seen it yet. Chase is waiting to see it in the movie theater, which is great news. Look,
I haven't been to a theater since Onward, so I'm really looking forward to seeing a big Marvel movie in theaters. It'll be good to be back.
Yeah, it will be good to be back. And look, if I can say anything and just sum it up in one word, I just have to say awesome. It was awesome. So make sure you guys get along and see it, because you won't regret it. And look, it's a big action movie, so in the movie theater it will look great as well. So get along to the movie theater, particularly over there in the States, because and you're vaccinated, because things are opening up over there, and things are getting safer and safer all the time. And as we always say here, get vaccinated and things will open up for you. So if you're not vaccinated yet over there, go and get vaccinated, because it just protects everyone, yourself and everyone around you, and also opens up the world of Disney to you once again. So get vaccinated.
Yes.
So moving on, guys. We are going to look now at this new thing that's coming to Disney Plus that that we are all excited about here, and that is this particular thing called What If. Now, talk us, as our resident Marvel specialist or expert, Chase, tell us what is happening here with What If.
What If is an amazing collaboration of, what would happen if this was a different way? What if this character met this character? What if Captain America was really a woman instead of a man? The possibilities are endless with this show, and we're seeing some really interesting combinations in just this trailer. So we're seeing like Killmonger hooking up with Tony, and it's like, whoa, how could that happen? It's like they're almost too into each other to possibly be a team. It's like, Killmonger was very power hungry and felt that he could do the best as Black Panther, and so maybe he's completely different in this scenario. How many different things could we see for Doctor Strange, Spider-Man? We see a zombie Captain America and Tony Stark. What's that all about? There are and that was like Captain America's head in a jar. So what's
that all about? Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? He is now in it like an animate head. So what exactly is happening with this? It was like, if you could let your imagination run wild in a Marvel universe, and you could say, throw out all the rules, come up with your most crazy idea as to what happens to these characters, and it will probably end up in this series. So
That's
there'll
right.
be I don't think, this will be like shorts. I don't know how long they'll be. I'm willing to guess they're in the 20-some minute to 30-minute range episodes. We don't have much detail on that yet as to how many there will be. But, I mean, just looking at it, we can definitely see there's going to be something for Doctor Strange. There's going to be something for Captain America and Tony Stark. There's Avengers, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. And so we're seeing a little bit of everything, probably broken up into these small episodes as to where it could go, and just focusing on a particular moment. So we've got like Vision there. I know like Skinny Steve is in that big robot that Peggy is on there. So that was kind of cool. It's kind of like a mech moment.
Yeah.
But it's done with beautiful cell shading animation. I love it when they do animation like this that's far more detailed. We got kind of a sampling of what cell shading looks like with the Star Wars series that I don't talk about.
Yeah.
But I think this is so much better than that. It adds a new depth of detail for these series, these different shorts. And I am really looking forward to what each of these mean. This is where, to have T'Challa get with to have him in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe it kind of blew my mind. I was like, how in the world
did that happen?
Would T'Challa somehow make it in with, being in Star-Lord's position, basically.
Yeah.
So, but that's what this is. It's almost like anything goes. If you can imagine it, it's probably going to be happening in this series, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, so am I. And, I think, we've got a bit of, alternate universes happening in Loki as well, haven't we? Because, we see that concept with multiple different Lokis and, different ways that his universe can develop. So I think that's where that sort of was spawned from in a way. And but this week's episode of Loki, if we can just get onto that, was I think the best yet. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. The whole concept of where they go when they're pruned and stuff, and how they needed to take on this, this dog as they described it to, get to a gate and get where we lead on to the next episode, which we're really excited to see. Which will be the last episode, right? Chase?
Yes, so we've got the season finale will be next week, and so it's kind of weird to think about it, but I don't think we've been exposed to the true villain of this series, which is really, really late coming into it. Usually you'd get it, pretty obvious right away, but we're supposed to be getting our villain, our actual villain, in this next series. And I'm like, wow, just way to go, pulling a episode 6 of 6 villain.
Yeah. Absolutely. And do you think this means that we might get a season 2 of this, or do you think it'll be a one-off?
I really can't tell because, it would be great if there was a series 2, but usually what they've been doing is to keep it short. They've usually been attaching them to a movie of some sort that's coming out. We know, WandaVision is being attached to the next Doctor Strange. We know that that there's another Captain America. Captain America 4 will be, follow up to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We've seen these movies. There's maybe this one connects to Thor: Love and Thunder. So it's not quite clear where we're going to be with the ending of Loki, but it was incredible. All of the bouncing around that it was doing from character to character. Old Loki, young Loki, alligator Loki, which was absolutely hilarious. And the fact that that old Loki could talk to, or at least understand, it was almost like a Han and Chewbacca kind of relationship. It's like, old Loki knew what alligator Loki was saying, because he was like, he's like, this is like a shark tank, and he's the shark. He goes, no, that's not an alligator tank. And I'm like, you were just talking to the alligator. I was like, okay. But I liked the moment that we had, another moment that we had with Loki and Sylvie. It was kind of brief. It was a little bit awkward. But I think it was sweet, and I think he's still having trouble communicating that he really does like her. He doesn't know quite how to say it, because basically she almost put words in his mouth. She was like, are you going to betray me? And he's like, well, I've betrayed everybody I loved, which is kind of like, this is me like bearing my heart to you and saying, anybody I've cared about, I've deceived. And but I'm different now. That's not going to happen again. You can depend on me and all that kind of stuff. And so far from what we've seen in this series and the relationship that he had with Mobius, I'd say that's pretty true. I'd say he's, if they said, you're lying, he hasn't been lying. He's actually been telling the truth. And I think that moment that he had with Mobius had to be my favorite part of this episode, when he offered his hand to him to shake it, and he just, like, what the heck, and he just grabbed him up in this hug. And he says, thank you, my friend. And I was like, that's like a huge deal for him to say that. And leave himself so open to interpretation. And so I think he really, really felt for. I could see in the episode previous that when they pruned Mobius, that he was really shocked. He was like, "Oh my God," it was shock and, clearly sadness that he just lost somebody that he actually liked, because they're kind of a bit alike. They kind of have a um not exactly a smart aleck, but the type of sarcasm and
Yep, definitely.
kind of they really do kind of play off each other well. So I think without Mobius, it was a good partner for him. And when he lost that, I think he truly felt like he had nothing else. Like, I mean, he had to now be what what he was trying to prove. Like, without Mobius here, I have to show other people now. I don't have somebody on my side anymore.
Yeah.
And then, he finds him and coming in like a knight in shining armor in a pizza truck is just
Yeah.
was pretty with the bobbing pizza sitting on the top. It's just sort of hilarious. I was like, where in the world did that come from? But I got an interesting theory. I read an interesting theory about Loki, and that's that basically the pruning sticks that they have, the reason why they glow yellow at the tip is because they contain a mind stone. And in the first episode, Casey says, "Oh, we get Infinity Stones all the time." He goes, "It's just like most people use them for
Those
like paperweights." He goes,
paperweights.
and he's all like, "Well, that's weird." And so,
Yeah.
according to this person, there are no yellow stones in the drawer, in Casey's drawer. And if that's true, then that would make perfect sense as to the fact that if it just touches you, it will have an effect on you. And in this case, the pruning, as they call it, it makes perfect sense that an Infinity Stone would do that, because look at the Thanos snap, look at
Yep.
anything else, look at what it takes to hold the Tesseract, or even when Star-Lord was able to physically hold the stone and still live. So it's a pretty big deal. And and it was Vision that had the Mind Stone. So that could really, that further kind of plays into that theory that that whenever you're hit by these things, that you're not dying. Clearly we have Mobius back, and he gets the temp pad from Sylvie. He's able to go back to the TVA.
Yep.
And so it just kind of puts you in this loop. And right now, as Ravonna said in the episode, she's like, basically they're in a void at the end of time. And so they all seem to know that. All the Lokis seem to know that they're in this place, that everybody gets dumped there whenever they're pruned. So they know that whenever somebody's shown up, it was because of some Nexus event that they captured these variants. And as we can see, there are quite a few of them, but we don't get backstories on most of them. They just end up having this big old fight, and our Loki and older Loki and young Loki all kind of sneak out of this fight and manage to get away. So
Yeah, for sure.
there's
Just
a lot going on. There's a lot of things underneath that you kind of have to dig through the layers of this show.
absolutely, and I my favorite part is the humor. I just love it. I just wanted to put up a quick comment from Sean. Sean says hello to us, so thanks very much, Sean. Thanks for watching the show. Make sure you subscribe, mate, and good to see you on. So that was, yeah, like I said, best episode so far. I'm really excited about next week. I think it's going to top it. Like, a lot to fit in that last episode, though. Like, how in the world are they going to fit it all in?
It better be like an hour and a half.
Yeah, maybe 2 hours. Maybe we should just do a movie in an episode. Definitely. So just want to move on finally to the Bad Batch now. Now, somebody had a big cry last night, a big fanboy cry. over this latest episode. Um, and sorry guys, look, spoiler alert, because we don't want to spoil this for you because it is a big fan moment. Because we had a little special guest on the show, and so tell us about your fanboy moment, Chase. Tell us about that. What happened on Bad Batch this week?
I've been watching Bad Batch at midnight when it drops, and so on Fridays it was like, okay, it's midnight, it's time for Bad Batch, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, it's going along. Here we are on Ryloth, bunch of Twi'leks. I love Twi'leks, so it's like, oh yeah, okay. And then you're getting along, and you're like, okay, who are these guys? And then they announce it, and they say Syndulla, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Hera's parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, we finally get to see Hera's parents, and then of course, as we find out, she's a bit of a troublemaker. She gets herself into these little situations, but
Yep.
right at her side, who is it? It's Chopper. Chopper is with Hera,
Yeah.
and so we know that that Chopper is the Syndulla family droid, which I
Yeah.
think
Yep.
is just fantastic. I thought that she may have picked him up somewhere in some, like junkyard type thing, but to know that she's had him from the start, from her childhood, is just even more exciting, because it's like, this is definitely like an R2 type of moment where it's like you find out that somebody's had them for so long, and this is why they know so much, and this is why they come up with these little snarky, salty type of attitudes for droids.
Yeah.
So I was
Yep.
so excited to see this tie-in with Rebels, and
Yeah.
I think it's coming along so nicely.
Absolutely. And look, that makes us really excited for the coming episodes. We could see more characters from Rebel appear, and we could see how the crew was formed before Ezra, sort of joined on the first episode of Rebels. So that's really exciting to see how the crew formed, how they all met and got together, and who really was, obviously, we will find out then the order of how the crew got together, which is really exciting as well. I'd love to see that, and I think there's enough episodes left to develop that a little as well. So
It's very
yeah,
possible.
yeah,
It really determines on how quickly we move through Omega's storyline, because we
yeah,
still
yeah,
have a lot to find out. We need to find out why Fennec was trying to help Omega. We need to find out what happened to Cad Bane.
yeah,
We need to find out, like, Rex just disappeared. Is he going to come up to is he going to join the guys again? Are we going to see Rex again? So it's all going to depend on how Omega's story progresses, because we still have a lot to figure out as to what's going on. Where are these bounty hunters? Are they still after her? Do they have another plan? Do they have a backup plan for if they can't get Omega?
yeah,
So I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot more that's going to be taking place. I don't know how much we'll see that ties into Rebels, but it was really, really good to see Hera and Chopper, and I think a lot of that will come much later. I think it will take Hera fully being realized as a pilot, to get her into what would be the resistance,
yeah,
or the rebellion as we know it, to finally have a place as a pilot, before she meets Kanan or anybody else, especially like Zeb and Sabine.
yeah.
So we may not see anything. It may be, but it may tie in. It may at the end give us some sort of idea as to where they're at before Rebels starts,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
just makes me want to watch it again.
yeah. I'm just thinking as well that this possibly will turn into another season. So we possibly could get season 2 on this one, as we did with Rebels, as we did with the Clone Wars. So yeah, really excited for that. I think there's enough scope in this to make a season 2, because you can explore lots of things, including what we talked about. And we could bring, characters like Ahsoka to the fray as well, and see what's going on with her. So anything's possible, and I think there is a lot of scope to bring this to a season 2. And what I'd really love to see is the Bad Batch in live action too. That would be awesome if we can see them in.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be fun. I think it would translate quite well, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd ever get their a full movie to themselves. I don't know if that would ever be a thing, but at least seeing them in a live action type of setting would be pretty cool. I think there's a lot of potential there. Considering that, I mean, you could easily do the armor. I mean, everybody's going to recognize the armor once you see it on screen. So yeah, there's definitely some potential, but altogether, I think all these series have just been flowing so nicely. It's so good to see them all together and finally filling the gaps and giving us the missing puzzle pieces.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome indeed. And the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about on Disney Plus that happened this week as well was Monsters at Work. So
Monsters at Work.
Yeah, we got Monsters at Work this week as well, which is really, really cool. What kind of what did you think of Monsters at Work? We got 2 episodes, right? So that was nice to see.
Yeah, it was kind of bizarre. I didn't know if we were gonna get to, because from reading it, I kind of wondered at first if maybe it was an accident that they posted those 2 right away. Because I was trying to find out where it fit on the episode list for release, and it almost looked like the second episode wasn't supposed to be released yet. It had a different date, but it was it was pretty cool that they released it. They're not very long episodes. But I have to say, I am going to have to reserve judgment on this right now, because I'm sort of on the fence, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought I would be drawn right in, and it was like, oh yeah, I can't wait, Billy Crystal and John Goodman, and I was like,
yeah. I think
it's almost like they're trying too hard to make it match the movie, and it's not, and it's just not getting there. I love that girl that's kind of the orange, kind of pinkish
fangirl
monster. She is so cute. And I think she has some of the funniest lines so far of all the characters. I think she has some of the best dialogue of all the monsters so far. But I was really disappointed in the kind of dialogue that they have for Celia. I think I was like, man, this almost doesn't sound like her at all. They're trying to give her like a position of like floor supervisor. It's not communicating well. I think Sully kind of seems like he's holding back. Like, I'm not sure how much I equate into this whole thing. Tyler, as we got from the very beginning, has beaten his scare record from Monsters University. So even Tyler is supposedly a better scare than Sully. And it's hard to believe that when how much we saw of Sully from Monsters University and Monsters Inc. So it's like, wow, to hear this this newbie come in there and be a better scare than Sully.
Yeah,
ooh,
it's a big ask.
Those are big shoes to fill, and And I really do. I hope that it fleshes out a bit and kind of gives us more of
Yeah.
like the whole Monsters Inc. vibe. But right now, with these two episodes, I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, look, I think I tend to agree with you. I think there needs to be character development. I think once we see these new characters being developed, and I can see that happening, like we're starting to tell a story. And let's remember, we don't have to tell this story over 2 hours. We've got quite a few episodes that we can tell it over. So I think that once the story builds and once we, we get to get endeared towards these characters, things will get a little bit better. But yeah. It wasn't what we kind of expected, but they're going to tell a story. So I'm inclined just to give them a break, and I will be watching coming episodes and see if things get a little bit better once character development's happened, and maybe we kind of fall in love with these characters. So yep, but still so much. I mean, look. I just can't believe how much content that is at the moment. It's just hard to realize that, like I'm getting home and I'm going, oh my God, like there's something almost on every night now on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's true. You've got
And
Wednesday's Loki, Friday's
yeah,
Bad Batch, and I can't exactly remember when they're going to be doing Monsters at Work, but
yep,
to have them all there, and then we know, like, even though Loki is going away in just like the second week of August, we're
yep,
getting What If. So it's
yeah,
like, they're
yeah,
replacing one Marvel series with the other, and it's
that's
like, here
right.
comes the next show. So there's almost no gaps to say, hey, I'll subscribe in a month. It's like bam, 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 bam. We're gonna just keep giving you guys
Yeah.
content until you tell us to stop.
Yeah, and I mean, this month we've had two blockbuster movies. We've had Black Widow, which has already been released, and we're going to get Jungle Cruise as well, which is
Right.
they're two huge releases. And then we're going to get the new animated movie we talked about. So it's just huge at the moment.
And we didn't even delve into the new anime Star Wars
Oh, absolutely.
episodes.
Yeah, yeah,
Visions, I believe it's called Star Wars
yep,
Visions, which is a kind of like a what is it? They've got that series on Netflix, which is, oh gosh, it's like, I'm trying to think of what it is. It's like it's basically all these different animation styles in all these little short films.
yep,
And this is basically like the same thing. They're given these different anime studios from probably about, I don't know if they're doing China and Japan or if they're just Japanese
uh-huh,
studios,
yep,
but they were given a Star Wars story to tell and use characters in their own style. So it looks like all these different. Finally, we're getting some sort of like Star Wars meets anime um, thing, and that's coming up soon. That'll be, I think, in September. So I think that's when Visions is somewhere right around September, and all these studios, all of them have very, very different ways of doing anime, from something as simple as the Astro Boy type of style to, something that looks very much like a Pokemon type of style,
yeah,
to as something as complex as like Full Metal Alchemist and stuff like that. So you have very, very different levels of
mm,
animation, which is just thrilling to me because, yeah, some of the artwork in there just looks absolutely fascinating.
yeah,
And these
yep,
look like unique stories. It doesn't look like they're redoing any of these are original stories in their own way of telling them.
yep.
So I think this will be a very, very fun series to watch this fall.
Yeah, yeah, it looks great. So like so much going on Disney Plus in the movies now, and special releases on Disney Plus as well. So yeah, it's a great time to be a Disney lover. And, on top of all that, we're going to get like Ahsoka, we're going to get Mandalorian season 3, we're going to get Boba Fett, Andor, the list just goes on. It's just like, it's overwhelming, actually, a little bit overwhelming, but
I think of all the studios that you could possibly have to have a streaming service, this Disney is the best way to go. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
Netflix has kind of fallen short with where their original series are, and it takes a long, long time to do them.
yeah,
Witcher has been in production for probably about a year to a year and a half.
mm,
You have
mm,
all these series that are just like, when are they finally coming out with a new show? Well,
yeah,
Disney
yeah,
is just pumping it out
yeah,
like
yeah,
boom,
huge.
boom,
Yep,
boom. And
yep,
it's just amazing content. So it's not like these are like really, it's like a yawner. These are just like, wow, I can't wait for the next one. What's going to happen? And it's like,
yeah,
so rarely do I have something where I'm up at midnight just to make sure I see the latest episode. And
yeah,
Disney is where it's at. You're getting your money's worth by subscribing to Disney Plus.
yeah. And and then on top of that, so much happening at Disney parks. I believe there's a few things announced that we'll talk about a bit later once we find out some information on the cruise ship, the Wish. So we've got that. We've got so much going on for for Disneyland. We have so much going on in Disney World with the 50th as well, and also their Halloween celebrations coming up. In fact, I think probably the next thing we'll see as well is the new Halloween merchandise coming across online and also at the parks. So really excited about that as well. So Disney's back in with a vengeance.
Yes.
Really, I haven't
Absolutely.
I absolutely have not seen this much activity going on at Disney in my lifetime. So it's just huge. It's just huge, and I mean. The parks are getting up to capacity pretty quickly. I mean, I know that Disney World, every time I see Bryan's vlogs, it's looking very, very busy. Can't wait to see you go into Disneyland to see and give us an idea of the crowd levels in there. That will just be phenomenal.
We have our work cut out for us, guys. We're
Absolutely.
we're glued to the internet to find the latest stuff going on, but it's not like it's hard to find. This is stuff that's like, I mean, we're bombarded with it. It's just making sure that we bring you everything that we can. So it's there is so much content that we don't even know what would be what we need to cover and when. We just have to like say, okay, here's the pile.
And we do really need to break what we determine the biggest stories, because there's just so much happening that would be hard. Like, we'd be here literally all day just talking to you about what's absolutely going on. But it's hard. It is hard to go around and find all the bits of information. So just make sure you watch the stream every week, and we will keep you up to date. Like, you only have to come to one place, and that's with us, because we will keep you. It's all here,
coast to coast.
and as well, I mean, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook. We've got DisneylandToday.net, and you can communicate to us many, many ways, and make sure drop likes and send comments through to us. Ask us questions, because we'd love to answer your questions. If you're going to Disneyland, definitely contact Chase before you go. Ask him any question you like. I'd be happy to tell you.
If you're going, I'll go with you.
Absolutely. We'll be happy to meet you at the front gates and give you a guided tour. Yes. But if you need any information, what to take to the parks, when to go, when's the best time to go, just ask any of us. Bryan over there in Disney World, Bryan's channel at the moment is really picking up. It's great to see him starting to get lots and lots of views. He's a great vlogger. Make sure you go over and look, drop comments on his videos as well. Give him a big thumbs up because he's only, happy to answer any questions you've got. Bryan's over there in the parks, like twice a week. He really is a Disney World expert.
Lucky duck.
As Chase is from Disneyland, and I'm only happy to answer any of your questions as well. I think, having said that, and we're hitting the hour and a half mark when we're supposed to be trying to stay to an hour.
Wow.
But it has been a really busy week, and we're really excited about that. I think moving forward, shows to come, when we start to get Halloween merch announcements, we might get Maria on just to give us a look over what's going on with Halloween merchandise. We still have to bring you our secret cameraman from some of the Marvel movies. We're going to have him on very, very shortly. We have had in motion a couple of Marvel movies, and he's been on them both, and lovely to talk. It will be lovely to talk to him. We will get Bryan back on the next show. By hook or by crook, I will have that man back here with us. Because, look, I tell you, this show, if he was on today, it would have gone for like 3 hours because I have so much to ask him about what's going on over there in Disney World and, his reactions, especially, to the fireworks, which the first Disney park really to return fireworks. And so really great to know what his feelings were. And I'm sure it was just an absolute magical moment. These moments, opening of Disneyland, opening of Avengers Campus, fireworks returning, all historic moments to Disney. So on top of everything else that's happening at the moment, we've got so many historic moments happening due to the pandemic. And I'm so happy to see it all coming back and all coming to life again. With that... guys, thanks so much for joining us again. We really do appreciate your support. Please subscribe and get really excited about Disney as we are, and give us a big thumbs up. And we look forward to seeing you on the next show. We'll be announcing that very, very soon. Make sure you give us one of those. We'll see you. We'll see you really, really soon. I'm really hoping that we can do a couple of live shows this week to Bryan. We'll just see how that goes. So we'll see you real soon, guys. So, Chase, great to see you again. And
always,
yeah. And thanks for all your expert advice on everything that's happened today and your great commentary. We always look forward to that on the channel. And I've been John. Next to me is Chase. We're your Magic Partners Live for this week. And guys, we're going to see you real, real soon. But until then, see you later, guys. See ya.
Later.